Hi you guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. So today is going to be part 2 of my June garden update. Do you want to know? Stay tuned. Okay you guys, so in the last video I was showing you kind of like the problems and struggles that I was having, and I showed you how everything was growing so quickly and I needed to harvest things soon. So in this video I'm going to be harvesting those, my very first harvest for this year, and showing you what I'm going to be doing with what I harvested. So if you want to see, here you go. Okay, so it's been a few days since I sprayed those and then I planted the watermelon. So that is how they're looking so far. I'll just do a little quick update on everything. Here's some grapes, big grape clusters down there, strawberry, sweet potato, red potato. Those are my onions. For the sweet pepper area, this is how large everything is getting. I have some hot banana peppers growing beautifully. And then I have tons of jalapenos that I need to harvest. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This one's fully loaded, all in there, like all in there. There's a lot of them. My sweet bell pepper area, these are, oh, sorry, you can't see. These are growing. I'm starting to get some really nice ones. Got two over here. I think under here is a good size one. Under there. And if you hear this, it's just this metal moving. Can't do anything about it. In case you're wondering, I tune it out. Here's some more. These I need to harvest. Look how big. Like compared to my hand. This is full. My little tomato plants that I just planted. Here is my carrots that I started from seed. I went through and picked them out to kind of weed them out, and that's how they're looking currently. My pea area is not doing too good. This is my cucumber area. I need to harvest a lot of these because I have a lot of them ready, but I also want to go through and kind of cut all of these dead like leaves and everything out of here, kind of clean this up a little bit. And then like I said, I need to harvest. There's some more hanging all over there. And then there's my green bean area. I have flowers. My lemon thyme. My oregano gone wild. Here's everything else. Now, my squash and zucchini, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna come in here and I'm just gonna start cutting out a lot of these leaves that were affected. I just really don't know what to do, but I know these like to be nice and airy and there's a whole lot of leaves going on. So I'm just gonna take this time to go through and cut some stuff out. I do have some growing in here if they last. So that's what I'm going to do. Harvest and cleaning up a little. I wanted to show you all the jalapenos I just harvested, and I wanted to show you the difference of like the normal smooth skin versus the one that has like stretch marks. I know it's something with the growth of it, and some people say you can still eat them. It's fine. If they're not that bad when I'm pickling them, I'll still use them. But if it's only a few, then I'll toss them most of the time because sometimes it's like harder. It's like a rougher surface. So this time I only had 3, and all of these are perfectly fine. Look how fat that guy is. And then I have some cucumbers and banana peppers. Okay, so I just finished harvesting everything. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave these on to grow a little bit longer because they're not quite big enough. This is what I did with my squash and zucchini area. I know they look naked, but I wanted to get rid of all of the leaves that were affected. Looked like they were eaten, just didn't look good. So either this is going to help it or it's going to kill it. Either way, it wasn't doing good with all of that moldy mildew. This one still looks good. So we'll see what happens there. And then this is the cucumber area now. You can totally see through it. You can now see the other cucumbers that are growing throughout. Here are the pickling ones. There's one hanging back there. Ma'am. So yeah, I pulled out again over here. There was a lot of them that had that moldy mildew stuff as well. I do need to get some more soil because this dropped in this area now. But that's what it looks like. Ma'am. Okay, so I'm gonna get these pickled. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting the garlic ready, slicing up the onion, and then slicing the peppers in thin slices, putting them in the jars. So the recipe that I use is I start with browning the garlic with the colander seed, and then I add 2 cups of white vinegar, 1 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of salt, and a half a tablespoon of sugar. And then I put in a few bay leaves. This one I did actually times it by 2 to do a double batch. And then once it boils, I pour it into the jars and put the lids on, and it's done. My oregano is growing wild, so let's do some stuff with it. Okay, so now after a much needed trim, I will use some of this to infuse and I will dry the rest for spice. And here is what's left over after infusing the rest with olive oil, so I will go ahead and hang this to dry. Same thing with the rosemary. Let's get to chopping. And then after her little trim, this is what she looks like, so I'm going to infuse some and dry the rest. This is everything that was left that I clipped from the garden, so I will go ahead and hang this and I'll dry it and put it in a spice jar once it's done. This morning I saw this big old limb just laying flat on the bottom. It actually broke off, and I guess maybe that was like too much weight on it. The whole arm just broke off of that tree right here, or the plant right here. Now there's only like, what, 2 arms? Okay, so some of these guys are getting really big, and I just don't want them to overgrow or start breaking the plant. So I'm gonna just harvest as many bell peppers as I think are ready enough. But holy moly, do I have some peppers. This one on this side is getting too heavy, I guess, the way that the plant split up and it broke. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Here is my carrots that I grew from seed. My peas are not doing well. There's really no change to my cucumber area. My beans, I have beans actually growing throughout. So if you can, hold on. You can kind of see down in there. There's some like here. So there are beans growing throughout. Here's the rosemary and oregano. This is kind of overgrowing. This I need to pull out. My parsley kind of looks a little funky, and this keeps coming back no matter how many times I spray that stuff. So I'm just going to pull these up completely and start over. I mean, the leaves grew back nice and healthy, but they're not getting pollinated, and this is not good. So I'm just going to pull them all out. And after harvesting all of those peppers just a few weeks ago, not even really. I already have all of these peppers growing again here too. And these are the hot banana peppers. So those are ready to be cut too. Those are nice and big. The heat killed my wildflowers and my hibiscus. Killed off kind of half of this one, but those 3 are no good. Okay, so these are the ones that I did cut off. I felt these were big enough. Look how nice. This was so neat going right and picking these from the garden. Love it. My first peppers for this year. Oh yeah, my little flowers died. Okay, so I went through and I pulled out the biggest ones. These I feel can still go for a little bit more time. They're not to like their full potential. Even this one, I feel it can go a little bigger based on what the other sizes were that I just harvested. Same with even like this size. And this one up here, I just feel it can go a little bit longer. And yeah. This one over here. And this one right here, I feel is not done growing. So I'm gonna just leave those as well. And I gotta put a stake up to help fix this a little bit more. So this morning when I was going through the garden, I noticed that the parsley just didn't really look too good and it's kind of overgrowing in that area. So I just decided to cut it all out. I'm gonna dry all this and I will plant a new one and start over, but I will dry this and put it in a spice jar. So it's ready to dry. So here is the dried rosemary, the parsley, and the oregano. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it ready to put it into a spice jar. So basically I go through each one at a time and I try to just get the leaves off and I pull out all of the woody stems, all the stuff definitely you do not want to eat. Then I just break it down really good with my hands. This seems to work fine and it grinds it down good enough to come out perfect from the spice jars. This is just so fresh and I absolutely love doing it this way. You can tell a big difference from this versus store-bought for sure. I was able to do 2 rosemary. So I have the 2 rosemary, I have 1 full parsley and then a full large oregano. This is definitely our favorite. My house smells absolutely amazing from breaking all this up. The aroma from them, nothing beats it. Nothing beats fresh versus store-bought. I'll say that every time. So there's me restocking all my spice jars, quick and easy and fresh. And now that my handy dandy vacuum will clean up all my little mess from all of the herbs that are all over the floor. Some of them are kind of hard to see, so this will go and get a good clean. Sometimes I'll do it twice, but yeah, now I can go do laundry because it's taking care of that. So today is the last day of June, so I can go ahead and wrap this up and get this up for you this weekend. This one is actually kind of coming back since I showed you it was dying. I have, I think, 1 weed. This one ended up getting a few greenery after the others died, and this one is looking nice and beautiful. So for my pepper side, the other day my man's sister came over and I sent her home with a bag full of peppers, and I still have now these. One thing that I'm going to say is this one is turning red and I bought this as a green, so that was a little misleading. I was wondering why they look like they're gonna start turning, and I'm like, ma'am, you are not a green, you are a red. This one is my yellow. This one is supposed to be red, and it is going to be a red. I can tell that now. Look at how nice. Look at how big these are after I already did the other harvest. And she just took a bag literally a few days ago when she came to pick up one of the chickens that she took home. Now I'm down to 3. But these are now growing in so well. The one over here is just getting really, really sad looking. I'm thinking of just pulling it up. This one arm is like, where did it go? I'm holding it up. This one broke, I showed you. This one that's twisted, I still have to keep holding it up because it keeps falling and just like laying flat down. So I think I'm just gonna have to wait a little bit, let these finish growing a hair, and then harvest them all, and then just pull this little sad guy out, because it just keeps breaking. And then I think I'm just gonna fill this up with cabbage in this area, since I hear now the chickens love cabbage. So I want to start growing more cabbage. This is actually my carrot tops now, and I have been pulling these out every single day, grabbing a handful of them to feed to them. They absolutely love these carrot tops. So I'm going to end up making them a little pecking garden in their coop, and I'm definitely going to be throwing in tons of seeds of these just so they can eat the tops. I don't care what grows on the bottom. I'll go from this angle. These are the cucumber area. This side has dropped dramatically. Now this side is starting to drop. Over there, I always had a problem, which as you can tell, it dropped again. Like, how many times am I putting more soil over here? It's ridiculous. And now you go, you're normal, 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 and then whoop, where it goes. Like, what are you doing? I don't. So I'm going to just rip all of these out because the cucumbers are not doing good. It started getting that moldy, mildewy thing from the other plants because it's airborne. These, I guess, got it or something, or the sun did this when it got hot. So this is where it gets the disappointing part when the heat comes out here in Florida. I do have some beans in here that I can definitely harvest. So I think I'm just gonna go through and just clean up some of these. Ooh, that one's not good, this yellow one. But there are some here that I can harvest. And then there's some that I need to clean up because they're not good. But there's some, looks like there's some good ones over there. But yeah, this front one is not looking good. It just literally, the heat. Let me go on this side and finish my story. So last week, the feels like here in Florida was literally 112 or higher, and it really did feel that way. We were outside working in the coop, like it was horrible. So that is when all of this happened. This was all brand new growth that looked big and healthy, and now it's all dried and brittle. So I'm gonna go through, clean all this out, pull it out. All my peas all died, so those are all gone. So now I can kind of reposition this all, get a better feel of what's going on here. Fill this in. I need to bring in several bags of soil. I'm gonna fill this in, just clean this all up because I can't even salvage this. If I put all that soil in, I'm covering all of these that are drooping and they're already like folding in, and it's just a mess. So I'm gonna clean all that up. I'm gonna clean all this all up. That'll be in July. So I'm gonna start this coming up weekend, the holiday weekend when I have some time. I'm gonna come out here and start, look at this. And can anybody give me advice? Like, am I supposed to prune these? And if so, can I prune these in a way so where they don't run off? My baby plants, look at how big they are. This one is still kind of little. And then this one is now all this tall. Like, this is what happened in 2 weeks. So this, look at this. It's all, what are you doing? I don't understand. My thing broke, I gotta fix that. But do I just cut this all off? Can somebody help me out with that one? Because I really do not know. My oregano is still starting to grow back large. I think I'm gonna just probably cut some out and start drying it because literally we go through this so much that, yeah, I can do that. I need to clean up this area. When I told you it was overgrowing, I'm not kidding, but now all these leaves are falling. So I think I'm just going to, I don't know, probably dry this out or something. Now I'm trying to think of being more mindful of what I can plant for the chickens to eat. I still do need to get a new parsley. And now look at this area. I did tell you I'm going to pull these out, and I tried to give them one more shot. Last weekend, I literally came and cut almost all of the leaves off of everything, thinking, okay, I'm gonna start over from scratch. And now everything is growing back, and all of this is just coming back even more. This over here, I was trying to see, you know, what was gonna happen. Oh, it looks like something bit through that. It starts all lumpy like a gourd. I'm like, aren't you supposed to be a squash? Why do you look like a gourd? So I'm going to pull these up too. So I'm going to try to redo this. I'm going to redo this area. I'm not trying. I'm going to redo this area. I'll bring in a little bit more soil because I see some have dipped through. So at least I'll have this whole side cleared out, and I can bring in some good soil and start over in this area. So yeah, and I also want to weed out some of this stuff. I don't think I need this many peppers growing. So I think maybe these two that are not as big and voluptuous, I might let go and maybe put some cabbage in this area or something. This one's growing out of control. This one is the poblano. We're gonna be having some good stuffed peppers soon, that's for sure. And I'm already overdue on harvesting. Look at all these. I'm gonna have peppers growing out of my ears, literally. Woo! Look at how big. Look how big these are. Look how pretty. Some of these are already turning red. These I purposely left to be some red, so when I do slice them up, I'll know the difference between the hot and the sweet. Plus, once you let them go red, they just turn a little sweet. They're still good. And in the jar, it's gonna look really pretty. I'm trying to get another orange because they go orange before they go red. I was trying to get one more orange so I can have a cool little color variation when I do pickle these. But this will be probably this weekend. I'm gonna pickle all those too. So yeah, this is what the garden looks like as of now. I do have some flowers that kind of came back. I do need to get some more for the ones that are completely dead. My watermelon died. I'm super bummed. My blueberry plant ended up dying. It didn't come back after everything froze. But look at my grapes, they're actually gonna be purple. I thought they were just green. Nope, they changed colors, look it. So I'm super excited about that. My raspberry bush grew a new little limb. My strawberry one is still kicking, so I'm excited about that. Once the heat came, because there's no cover directly over these, those basically died, but they grow underneath, so I'm hoping the potatoes are still growing underground. I don't know, but my sweet potatoes are still looking good, and my banana trees grew back nicely. So yeah, this is what it looks like the very end of June. Next month, we will have new placements here, new placements there, hopefully a trimmed up tomato bush when somebody can help me figure out what to do there. And we'll get this all set up to go moving forward with hardier plants for this heat that is approaching. Well, sorry, that is here. It's not approaching, it's here. So this is the end of your June part 2 update. All right, you guys, so that is everything for this June update for part 2. That'll conclude this month on everything on how it did, how it was growing, what I harvested, and what I did with them. So thank you so much for coming along this journey with me. Again, I'm just showing you as I go. It's a whole learning experience, and I'm actually loving it. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video, and until next time, you know that drill. Keep a smile on that gorgeous face of yours, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, Crafty crew, out.